Well, hello everyone. We are back again to preview the next Champions League semi-final between AC Milan and Inter Milan. You're here with me, Steve Wiss, and Ashley Waite on All Angle Sports Investment. And Ashley, what a brilliant Tuesday we had. We nailed all four picks on the show yesterday. Three of them in the Champions League, one of them in the Swedish Allsvenskan. It doesn't really get any better, does it?
No, it really doesn't. Champions League, it's those are hard matches to bet anyway. So sweeping those is always an awesome thing. But sweeping them at plus money is not an easy feat. So yeah, that was awesome. Got really great prices. Even at your Varnamo pick in Sweden was bang on. Won by 2 clear goals and got them on the money line at a really good minus 114. So yeah, that was our most expensive pick at minus 114. Can't complain about that. So yeah, ready to put that one behind us and talk about this Milan matchup here.
Yeah, all the winners we had on the Champions League match were plus money hits, which was really good. The Varnamo game, I mean, it was actually quite a good watch. I said it was going to be horrible, didn't I? But it was really entertaining. The long throw, if anyone wants to watch an interesting long throw, you want to watch a Varberg game, it's like a bullet long throw this guy's got, and it causes absolute fucking havoc. I mean, I can't stand it because it takes so much time out of the game preparing for the long throw, but
is he the one that he runs from the sideline and he gets right to the sideline, does a flip and then slings
not
it?
Not quite that. Not quite that, but it's just like the flat bullet nature of it. So yeah, but I was pleased to get on top of that game. And then Vinicius' goal just sparked it off for us, didn't it? In the Champions League. I mean, that was a great hit. Got you the first half goal.
Yeah.
Then you cash with the both teams to score. My 5-legger bet builder came in, and I was actually for once I felt I had a bit of luck because the last thing I needed was a Benzema shot on target. He got a shot on target, but the replays showed he was actually offside. So if it had been a goal, it would have been chalked off, and I wouldn't have got it. But because it wasn't a goal, the linesman played on, and we managed to get it registered as a stat on Opta. So I felt maybe I got one over Opta there for once. Not often you can do it.
But God damn it. Hold on, I have to cough. I'm sick of this long COVID bullshit. In fairness though, you shouldn't have had to wait that long. I mean, it was just a fantastic match. You guys know I don't usually watch a lot of these because they mess me up betting wise. I'm really backwards from everybody else. My brain is just odd. Like I can tell more of what's going on by watching the metrics versus the actual match itself. It takes out some of my human bias, but I watched every second of that one, and there was some beautiful footy being played. But some of those passes, man, Benzema was just right there, right? Just the goal for the taking, and they just couldn't quite get him the pass that they needed to. So yeah, he was close to scoring, but definitely should have had multiple shots on target. So got kind of lucky because he was offsides, but also kind of unlucky that you didn't already have one.
Well, in this game, you take what luck you can get, can't you? When it comes your way. So we were very happy with the results of the show. Hope anyone watching was as well. Gertrude, welcome in. Thank you very much. There, Ben Burbright.
Burbridge is what I would say.
Burbridge. I'm not sure, but welcome in both of you. Welcome in anyone else.
I don't know, but Ben's a cool guy, and Gertrude, you're gonna have to tell me how to say your name because I thought there was an R in front of the T. I'm getting older now, so I can't see, and I kept calling you Gertrude. So my apologies for messing that up. But yes, welcome in. Oh, glad to have y'all here with us.
Well, we've only got one match to talk about on this show. We haven't even got any bonus picks or extra picks. Just one match. It's the second semi-final. AC Milan against Inter Milan, a massive derby. I mean, I think this is a tougher game. I looked at the two fixtures I was always more confident about, probably the Real Madrid match for angles and stuff. But nevertheless, it brings its own challenges. We're going to talk a little about the match markets. We don't actually have any picks in terms of 1x2 handicaps, overs, unders. But for the first leg here, I mean, I'm a bit surprised. AC Milan are actually the underdog. I mean, they are technically the home team in this first leg, which, I mean, make what you want of that. They'll just have more fans, that's all. Home advantage is kind of nullified. I was a bit surprised to actually qualify. AC Milan were at plus 138, but I mean, the thing is, Inter Milan are the one team I can never get a handle on. I've got to be honest. I never ever seem to get them particularly right. So I struggle in getting involved in their games. Let's start about who do you think is going to make it through to the Champions League final, Ashley?
Well, I'm going to preface everything I say about this match with the fact that I cannot stand Italy. Serie A is my favorite league in the world to bet and just my favorite league overall. But both of these Milan sides, just difficult for me to read overs, unders, sides. So I steer clear of them. I do take Inter in some capacity, but I just do not like AC Milan. So I typically try to stay the hell away from them. But here, yeah, there are several angles that I like. I'm on opposite sides of you. I just don't see any value in it. So because it's so tough to read, I could see either going through, but you tend to favor AC Milan. I tend to favor Inter here. But looking at their price to advance it around as minus 150, minus 155. Yeah, I love value plays. I don't see any value in that. I don't even see any value putting it as a double piece because it, like I said, it's not like I love the play. I could see either going through. But whereas you side with Milan, I tend to side more with Inter.
I think AC Milan are going to qualify for the final. I watched them in that quarter final against Napoli and against Spurs in the previous round, where everyone was writing them off against Spurs, and they came through. They've got a lot of experience in their team, like Giroud. Ibrahimovic is on the bench cheering them on. You'll be pleased to hear, Ashley, even if AC Milan win the Champions League, he will not get a medal because he's not in there. He's not actually qualified in their squad. So he is gonna. His wait for a Champions League medal will continue. Whatever. They've got a lot of experience, like I say, and I like that about them. I really do. I think they can knuckle down and get it. Inter, what a weird side. I can never grasp them, to be honest. But when push comes to shove, I'm surprised that this is not a pick'em with the bookies in terms of to qualify. Inter are the clear favourites to qualify. I don't get why, from what the stuff I've seen. But I'm not going to get involved in that market. Anything can happen in derby games. Bloody hell. I mean, a red card here and there and the whole complexion changes, doesn't it? So first leg then. What do you fancy here? We've got Inter Milan are the favourites at plus 150. AC Milan at plus 210. The draw is at plus 210. Do you think the draw first leg maybe?
I could see a draw. I don't bet draws, which is funny because this morning I got up and I might have bet a draw twice in my betting life, which is, I put in tens of thousands of bets. But I woke up this morning and I was eyeing it. I already had those 2+ money plays in on Patreon. I thought there was a ton of value on the draw in that Man City match at plus 285. And I started to play it just for like a third of a unit. I wish I would have posted that. But here, I could definitely see why people would take the draw. It's not a lot splitting these two. I'm just not someone who bets those. But what did you say? It's like plus 210?
Yeah, plus 210 for the draw.
Yeah. So anytime you're looking around plus 220, and then the closer it ekes towards plus 200, that's the books telling you that's a pretty strong draw line. So there's definitely value in it, throwing a third of a unit or something like that. I kind of like Punk shout here, like first half draw. I could see this being kind of a slow starting. They typically do. Both of these teams start kind of slowly. It's just such a specific bet, and you guys know I like goals, so yeah, I think there's value on it. I just don't bet them.
I've seen a lot of people tipping under 2.5 goals for this game. You're not going to get rich back in under 2.5. I think you can get minus 175 on it. I mean, is it a banker under for the first leg, do you think, Ashley? I mean, there's no away goals now, of course, which might sort of free the teams up a little bit more. I'm not sure. Would I really fancy backing under 2.5 at minus 189, for example, with William Hill?
No. Yeah, no, I wouldn't back anything at minus 189 unless it was in a double, and then I would shoot for the under 3.5 to give myself a little leeway there. So, like Joe was saying, under first half, under the only thing I see the reasoning of it, but I'm going to give you a reasoning that has no logic to it. I always, or 90% of the time, am scared off of a play when it seems as though everybody is on it. And I don't know anyone who's on the over of this match. I don't know. It's if Leao's missing for Milan, right?
Well, it sounds like he probably is going to be missing. Yeah, we don't know. They're saying late fitness test. I'd be surprised if they risk him for the first leg, get him fit for the second.
Yeah. So I think that hurts them in two ways, defensively and offensively, because he does like to swing away at random ass shots. So I do like Inter here. I think Inter will see him being out as a slight weakness, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see them go for it. I like Lautaro Martinez. He's the single most schizophrenic player in my mind, and the stats kind of back it up. He is the streakiest goal scorer, hands down, of any player that I know in Europe. If he scores, I'll back him to score every match thereafter until he doesn't, and then I just completely stop and wait for him to score again. He scores in bundles, and then he has cold streaks that last forever. So he is in scoring form right now. So, yeah, those will be the angles that I'm taking. But, yeah, I think that Leao being out does hurt them a little bit. And I think any slight advantage you get on two teams that are kind of this evenly matched, I'm going to have to take swings at Inter here. Yeah, not for them to win, but I'm going to be swinging at their shots and goal scorers and whatnot.
Yeah, Lisandro Martinez is the definition of going from a sauna.
Lautaro, you keep trying.
Lautaro, sorry, I don't know why I've got Lisandro Martinez on my mind here. He is the definition of going from a sauna to a plunge pool, isn't he? In terms of his form, he goes red hot to ice cold. So
I don't know what that analogy you just used, because it's a British thing, but yeah, exactly. I know what you're getting at, and he really is. It's unreal, that guy. His cold and hot streaks.
One thing I'll say though, AC Milan possibly have the best goalkeeper in the world right now, in Mike Maignan. Like that guy is a complete wall. I mean, how do you get past him? I think anyone looking at any time into scorers have got to think about, will Mike Maignan get beaten over the two legs? So that's why I think a lot of people are looking at the under for this game. But I mean, you know me, I don't really like taking unders very often. I actually took one at the weekend in the Elite Serie and actually won with a rare under. So
you will take them more often than I do. So props to you for that. But yeah, I do absolutely see why people favor the under here. If I run unders better, maybe, but I don't see how you're getting any value at the under 2.5. So like Joe was saying, the under 2.25, that's probably a decent price. I could, if I were going to play the under, I would take that. I wouldn't touch a minus 180 anything.
I'm gonna predict a 1-1 draw for the first leg. Are you going to give us a correct score prediction for the first leg, Ashley?
Man,
you've almost got to go with an over now, haven't you? Having said what you said.
No, I don't have to do anything. Like I said, I see the reasoning of the under. I will say, I'm going to say Inter 2-0.
2-0 to Inter Milan in the first leg. Right.
1-0, 2-0. That's what I'm going to say. A low-scoring Inter win.
Right. There we go then. We've put our necks on the line in terms of the scores. But in terms of the betting, I'm going to start things off with a couple of card bets. Now, the card line for this game is over or under 5.5 in some places. The Asian card line with Bet365 is 6, which, I mean, you'd need 7 cards to actually win your bet. 6 to push, which, I mean, look, a lot of cards are expected here. You can't get suspended for the final unless you get a red card in one of these two legs. So the players can swing away, safe in that knowledge. Referees know that as well. And the referee for this game is a Spanish referee. They've brought a Spaniard out. He averages over 5.5 cards a game in domestically. His name is Jesus Gil Manzano. And last time we saw him in action in Europe was Man City against Bayern Munich. He only actually dished 3 cards in that game, but both of those two teams are quite clean.
Yeah.
So I think he will dish quite a few. I don't like taking a card line at 5.5 though, and 6. is high. And even if it goes over, I'm not going to lose sweat by missing out on a winner there. So I'm looking at a couple of players. And for those who watched this show before, I'm sorry, I've been really boring here. First one is Theo Hernandez again, plus 210 to be carded. I just always feel in the big games, he has a knack of going in the book. He'll take one for the team quite happily. He'll do something cynically. I feel like in like a normal regular Serie A game, he discipline's pretty good. Put him on the big stage or for France sometimes. He gets stuck in, and he actually gets away with a lot of shit as well. But
yeah,
he'll
even I know
take
that, and I don't pay attention to cards. So yeah, correct.
He will. So that's the first one for me, and the second one is again a guy that I backed before, Rade Krunic, to be carded at plus 275 for AC Milan. Took him in the second leg of the quarterfinal, but I forgot that he was one booking away from a suspension, and he played a very, very clean game. But not now. I think now he's got that out of his mind. He can really get stuck in. He was so cynical in the first leg against Napoli. I had no idea how he got away without getting a card. So, I would be furious if I wasn't on him here and he went in the book. So those are my two. You could take a swing at a lot of different. I looked at Brozovic for Inter. I think there's a good chance. You mentioned a couple that you like off air. Benassa, I think, is your favorite guy to get carded here for AC Milan. He could be worth looking at.
Yeah, I don't have stats to back that up. It's just one of those players like lately Gavi with Barcelona. Benassa is just one of those that when I see that team play, it's pretty frequently that you'll see a yellow card next to his name. So I might look into some stats and take a tiny swing on him to try to expand my betting portfolio. And Effie's picked there, inner double chance and under 3.5. I love that play. I actually was calculating that earlier today. But then I was like, I'm going to take a different route. But yeah, Effie, I think you're onto something there. I think that Inter can avoid defeat, and you're getting an extra goal over that 2.5, which I feel much better about than betting an under 2.5. So I think that's a great show.
And Joe asked me, what about the fouls total? I would imagine there'll be 30 fouls in the game, Joe. So I don't know what the line is for fouls. I didn't actually look at the foul line. I think it probably about 26.5, maybe 27. The referee, I can tell you, the referee averages 24 fouls per game domestically in La Liga and 22.4 fouls when he refs in the Champions League. So he issues a lot of cards, but his foul count is just bang average, really. So maybe he gives a lot of cards for dissent or something, or time wasting. I don't know. But I'd imagine there's going to be a lot of fouls here, isn't there? Surely, you've got to think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, historically, and just the way these teams hate each other. And plus, too, like, don't anyone be scared off by the fact of who's the home team and away side. These teams share a stadium, so neither one of these teams is away, really. But I will say for cards backers, I do hope that this one goes a lot different than the Man City match today, because I don't typically bet those anyway, but man, there were some people getting away with some stuff. There should have been a lot more yellows flying in that Madrid match than there were. So yeah, hopefully for people backing cards here, this ref isn't going to be as lenient as the one today was.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's worth looking at the cards market for this, because probably could have been 6 or 7 cards. And Man City and Real Madrid are generally quite clean teams. It's because there's so much on the line now in the semi-finals of the Champions League. But I said, didn't I, about that referee, that Portuguese referee, they often ref differently in European games compared to domestically, the Portuguese ones do. So hopefully the Spanish ref is a bit more, he's used to the big stage. So I think he will give a card if he deserves one. Now, your pick for the game, Ashley, it's we're putting it up on screen now. It's the same game parlay. It's Lautaro Martinez. One or more shot on targets, in addition to Federico Di Marco, to have one or more shots. As always, the result of this will be defined by Opta. So this price is minus 105. Ashley, talk us through this bet.
Right. And be sure. So 2 things. Always pay attention to the difference in shots on target. Some of your books will have it listed as shots on goal. I know that sounds redundant, but sometimes there are new people watching that aren't used to betting this sport. So, and the other thing, when you take anything that has to do with individual players like this, always make sure that the player is starting, right? That if you put this bet in, that your book will void the bet if he doesn't start. If you do not have that option, do not put your bet in until the official lineups are released. Typically, that's at least an hour before kickoff. So you do not want to be locked into a bet with your hard-earned money, and then the guy ends up sitting the bench. I don't see either of these players sitting, but you never know. So with this one, Lautaro Martinez, we're going to take a shot on target. I'm not going to belabor this issue and beat a dead horse. It's just the things I've already talked about. He's in scoring form. I think there's a decent chance that if there's a goal in this match, period, that he scores it. He's just someone that I look to ride his shots and his anytime goal scorer markets when he is on, and he is right now. So I'm just going to just simplify that and say that I'm going to bet him till he stops shooting and stops scoring. Now, for him, that is a shot on target. With Federico DiMarco, this one, we just need a shot from the guy. It doesn't matter if he shoots it, 20 yards over the crossbar. Doesn't matter if he shoots it into the stands. We don't care. We just need a shot from him. This guy's kind of been a little hidden gem for me. Not anymore, though. The books have kind of caught up to him, and so have some other tipsters I've seen. So yeah, this, I believe the number, it's at least very close to this, so don't hold me to it. In his last 23 matches in all competitions, so this is not just in Serie A, this is in European play and everything, he is 22 shots in his last 23 in all competitions, which is phenomenal. He's actually scored, I believe, 6 goals. So just a guy that, what do you look for in betting? You look for consistency, as you call it, boring, and I call it awesome. Give me boring and consistency every fucking day and a winning bet, and I love that kind of boredom. So this guy has hit a shot, has even scored and hit shots on target. So we just need one ugly shot from him. Yeah, if he's done that 22 out of his last 23, then I'll absolutely take a chance that he does that and makes it 23 of 24 here. So yeah, one player, make sure you get this a shot on target, and then with DiMarco, make sure it's just a shot and at almost even money. I think that's really good value.
Yeah, minus 105 there for same game parlor. It looks pretty good. I'll read you some stats out now for DiMarco. Actually, this is from Infogol. This is in Serie A. He has played 2,048 minutes this year. He's had 42 shots, 12 on target. It's 4 goals. So that's a shot roughly. It's nearly, it's about 1.5 shots a game, isn't it? I think maybe 1.6 shots per game in Serie A. Into the Champions League, 522 minutes, and he's had 7 shots, 2 on target, and no goals. So again, he's averaging well over a shot a game in the Champions League as well. So this guy basically does like to have an effort every single game, likes to chance his arm. So
he does.
And Martinez obviously is a pretty. If he's not getting a shot on target in this game, something's quite wrong, isn't it? Really, you've got to your top striker's got to stand up in the Champions League
Right.
semi-final. It's as simple as that. It looks that's a good price, you know, minus 105 for 2 outcomes, really.
Yeah.
There, Ashley, I must say. And yeah, we'll finish the show with another one of my bet builders. My 5-legger came in yesterday, so I thought I've got to strike while the iron's hot, really here, and I've gone down to a 4-legger today.
You're slacking today. You're just going for a 4-way, huh?
I know, 4-way only.
You don't have the stamina for those 5 ways.
I know, it took it out on me. So,
all right, 4-way it is.
4-way is. This is the pick here. It's a plus 240 bet builder. We can put it up on screen. Over 3 cards in the game, so there's got to be at least 4 cards here. I wanted to get the cards in there somewhere. I think there's going to be at least 4. I think something's wrong if there's not at least 4. But just to play it safe, in case the referee does a bit like he did in the Real game, and only dished like 4 or 5, that's enough for me here. And then I'm going for both wing backs here, Theo Hernandez and Denzel Dumfries, to have a shot or more each. Now, again, these guys have similar statistics to DiMarco. They're not quite in DiMarco's league for the amount of shots that they have. but they usually do like to fire at least once per game. I don't know what it is about a wing back, Ashley, that they just love to roam forward sometimes, find themselves in the right sort of position, and think, do you know what, I can smash one into the top corner. And if it comes off, they're sometimes the most spectacular goals in football, actually, when a wing-back scores. So Dumfries and Hernandez, I think they're going to be on. They should last the 90 minutes, and hopefully they'll chance their arm at least once. And then Olivier Giroud to have one or more shots on target in the game. Similar sort of reasoning for Giroud, I think, compared to Martinez there. Again, the main target man striker, he surely should have something on goal in this game. Something's quite wrong, in my opinion. I think he's a physical handful, and he might be a header on target, with Giroud. So, plus 240, I thought it looked quite a good price, really. Probably the two most dangerous parts of the bet builder are Dumfries and Hernandez, in case, both just stay back at all times or something. But I will chance my arm here at plus 240 and hopefully round off a good set of picks for this show.
Yeah, I really don't see Dumfries as a liability here. I would feel pretty confident in him getting a shot. And I think this is a great way, too, at plus 240 to get a lot of value on the cards market where you're not having to get 6 or 7 of them. So, yeah, plus 240, it's great value. All of those, I think, are very, very possible to hit. Giroud, I love. I love watching him play, especially for his national team. But man, I don't know why he's so good with France, and then in Serie A, I don't know, he's just so off. But yeah, should he get a shot on target? Absolutely. And I don't think it'd be a bad idea to put a teeny sprinkle on him to score a header. He has a knack for scoring those.
Yeah, Dumfries is actually an interesting one. These inter wingbacks really do get forward and like to have a shot. Dumfries has 31 shots in Serie A from 2,177 minutes. So it's not, compare that 42 shots from DiMarco, it's not as many, but he's still firing away decently. 13 on target as well. So he's actually got a decent accuracy rate as Dumfries. In the Champions League, he has 10 shots from 683 minutes of play. 5 of those on target again. So this guy he's quite accurate. When he has a go, he's not far off 50% accuracy, which is pretty damn good for a wing back, I must say. Yep. That concludes it, I think. Actually, we haven't.
So if you'll pull Ben's question up there, I think that's a really good question.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So do we think the closest in points in the league table of Serie A for Champions League next year will change the way these two look? I don't, Ben. It's a good question. I just think, do these teams go all out for this match? Yeah, I don't think anything else really matters. It's Champions League, right? These are two bitter rivals facing each other. So I really don't think there's going to be much more needed than those two factors. Teams can't stand each other, and it's a Champions League match. So, yeah, I think they'll leave it all out on the pitch. If not, that would be a huge disappointment.
This has to be the focus, finishing 4th or winning the Champions League. If you win the Champions League, you get in next year's Champions League anyway.
Right.
One of these teams might be in that position in the final. They have to win the final to get in the Champions League next year. But honestly, that'll be the last thing at the back of their mind. They'll want to win the silverware, win the trophy. So I think everything's on these two games, really. I don't think the league is a factor myself. But I'm not an Italian expert, so I'm not going to profess that I know the exact answer to that, but logically for me, it'd just be.
Well, Italy is my thing. See that ball right there?
You have a lot of experience in Italian football, so if you're saying all the focus is on this game, then that will do me, Ashley. So
anything less than that would be a disappointment to the fans, to everybody, right? Yeah, this is Champions League. This is what it's all about. So, right. I think they're going to go all out now. Whether that equates to goals or not, we'll see. But I don't expect anything less than a feisty affair here.
Well, I think that's a very comprehensive preview of this game, Ashley. Indeed, you won't get much more detail. As the name suggests, we delve into all angles of the game to help you out there. And
However, I have one extra little play that I will be sprinkling. You guys know what it is. It's everything I've been talking about this show. You're getting Lautaro Martinez anytime goal scorer at plus 200. I wouldn't go nuts with it. I have no idea if there are goals in this match or not, but I will be sprinkling him at plus 200 in his current form. That's just a stupid price to me.
I did have a feeling that you would. I nearly asked you when you were talking about him, actually, that you probably would
I'll
be
probably
having
throw a tenth of a unit on my man Federico Di Marco to score at plus 725 too. Just no beer money and have a little fun with that.
Yeah, some shots on. I might maybe combine both wing backs to have a shot on target. That'd
Not a
pay
bad idea.
reasonably well, I reckon. Probably maybe plus 300 or something. Yeah, a really good show, Ashley. Hopefully we can nail it again. Really.
Yes.
We're gonna be back once more tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna be talking about 4 games, at least 4 games, both semi-finals of the Europa League and the Conference League as well. So looking forward to that.
And I love me some Europa. Yeah, I do love Champions League. Don't get me wrong, but all of y'all, like everyone loves Champions League. I'm a degenerate over Europa, so I'm looking forward.
It's all about these bloody Italian teams. I'm sick of them because there's about. I mean, two Roma left, Juventus, Fiorentina. I think are they still in conference? I mean,
yeah, Fiorentina played awesome right now. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm not too bad with Serie A. I'm better with Serie A than La Liga, but yeah, it's not. It's been a really good year actually for Italian teams in Europe, I must say.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
Quite
it's
sure
not the
why.
Same team winning all the time, right? Yeah, Napoli winning Serie A is nice. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the Europa matches as much as I am Champions League, really.
Very good. Right. Well, it was a pleasure as always, Ashley. Thanks for anyone who joined live and or watched on demand. So we will see you again tomorrow. Best of luck, whatever you're taking in this game. Cash those winners. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, cash the winners. And yeah, thanks guys for tuning in, and we will see you around the same time tomorrow. And let's hope we have us another sweet.